All right. Yay. Welcome, everybody, to what are we calling this? The Elegance of Business and Living?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Joy of Business. Joy of Business.
Mhm.
My name is Heather Nichols, and it's me and the lovely Miss Katarina Nilsson.
And that's me. Happy to be here with you all.
Yeah, we're so excited.
Yes. Yay.
We're actually going to be creating we're going to be joining Simone Milicis, the founder of Joy Business in Napa, and just will actually be there a month from now for the Joy Business Facilitators training, which is awesome. And
Yes.
we're doing a class right before it in Napa as well, and we're going to be streaming that. So we just thought this would be a fun taster, and we've never facilitated. Have we ever facilitated together?
Did we?
I think we
No, we haven't, right? We've
no.
done radio shows and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder
How does it get any better?
Yeah.
It's going to be so much fun. I'm super excited.
Me too.
And I just love the joy of business.
Me too. So if you guys could have anything out of this, what would it be? Anybody have you were so excited to be here because you wanted to ask a question, or you would love to, if you could, well, let me ask in a different way too. If you could have the elegance of business and living, what would that be for you? What would that be like for you? And what questions can we ask, and what can we play with today to really make that more accessible for everybody? So Tabitha says, what does that look like?
Yeah. And also, Heather, I'm aware we have people who are not familiar with access consciousness and the access consciousness tools. So maybe we could give a really brief introduction, since the Joy of Business classes also are classes where you are not required to have any prereqs whatsoever. It's for everyone to just jump in and enjoy. So to start, what is access consciousness? Well, it's kind of I would say it's like a portfolio of so many pragmatic tools that you can use for, sometimes I call it self-coaching. It's to have more ease and to have an easier and more light life. So these tools can be applied in any area of your life, really, in relationships with your body. And now this is the inclination towards business. But the perspective is also that our business is our life, and our life and living is our business. So would you like to fill in something there, Heather?
Yeah, I think for Joy of Business, for me, I know I would always, when I was a kid, my parents were both entrepreneurs, and I would always sort of look at them and look around and be like, why are you spending your whole life doing something that's not fun? And I mean, my parents actually had a lot more fun than most people do with business, but it was I don't get it why people would spend their whole day, 5 days a week, torturing themselves, And so I think I always have had the joy of business, and just had a curiosity about, okay, so what if business could be fun? What if your business could dynamically expand and grow as you do, as you become more, as you have more joy, as you have more fun? What if that could be one of the primary energies that expand your business and your life and your living and your money flows? And for me, there was just such a relief to find the access and joy of business, because somebody was actually talking about what I've always known. So I would like to invite you guys to actually look at, what is it that you know about business? What joy of business do you already be and have, that you have maybe perhaps decided is the wrongness of you, or something that isn't right about you, or something that you can't quite get over, right? So everything everywhere you've made everything you know and the brilliance of you wrong, and the fact that you would like to have more wrong, we destroy and uncreate all of that.
Yeah.
I like the arm motion, Daniel. That's awesome. Right. Push your swimming on. That's the access consciousness clearing statement for people who haven't been exposed to access consciousness before. It's like a delete button for anything that you would like to get rid of, like all the unconsciousness and stuff that's underneath, like the stuff that's stopping us. Basically, it's like hit the delete button and it just clears it. So yeah.
Maybe we could add also that the tagline from Access Consciousness basically is empowering people to know that you know. So what we do is to find out even more about what is it really that we know. So we know everything already, and we have just forgotten a little bit along the road. So also we pick up so much of other people's points of view and their view on what business, for example, should or should not look like. And if I go to myself, I was terrified and I was convinced that I could not start a business because I'm not very good at Excel. That was my primary reason for not being able to start a business.
Oh, that's so funny. I love that.
So when I got over that and I realized that there might be other people that could be good with numbers and could even help me, and that I might not need to do everything myself, things started to open up. And it started to open up more and more for me when I started to use these tools, which is about questions. So we open up and we empower with questions. And when we go to answers and conclusions, that always makes our world less and smaller. So that's kind of some of the basic, the fundamentals of what we use here. So what would it look like for you to open up for more possibilities for you? What is your business and your living?
Yeah.
Everything that doesn't allow that, can we just destroy and create all that, please? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, all night shorts, boys and girls. Thank you.
I love that. I love that the tagline is empowering people to know that they know. So it's not even about what you know. I mean, and of course that's part of the adventure of creation of business and living, but knowing that like so much more than you think you do. And so for me, a huge part of Joy of Business is sort of like taking apart everything that we've thought business is. And in the 101 class, the one-day class, the very beginning of it is all about like, okay, so let's destroy and uncreate everything that we've ever thought business was. And like just a lot of these powerful clearings around, because if you go to create your business like on a platform of conclusion and limitation and impossibility, then that's the platform that you're going to build from, right? And if you go, so it's like taking that away, like disassembling all the limitations that we've bought around business and money, all the lies, all the you can't know, like you don't know Excel, so you're going to suck at business, like all of that stuff, like, and some of it we don't even know is running the show. So taking it apart, so that you actually have this wide open space of curiosity and creation and what's fun for you and what would you like to do and create and be, and what do you know? What is your business asking of you? All of that, it's like, then there's this incredible space of creation that becomes available to us when we're like, oh, okay, so if I'm not wrong, and I'm perhaps a lot more right than I ever thought I was, and I can just ask questions and play with energy and play with my business and play with creation, then what? Like, then it might be a lot more fun, which is also one of the energies that brings more money into our worlds and brings more people into our worlds and all of that. So everything that doesn't allow you to have the ease, joy, and glory that you may or may not even know that you can have with business, everything that doesn't allow you to have that, we destroy and create it.
Yeah.
The right, wrong, good, bad, all night, fuck, my shirts with me. Cool.
It's also thinking about judgments, and when we judge ourselves for, well, basically anything, that's also when we close down the creation department, basically. So with judgment in our world, we can't create. So that's also a really huge thing to look at. And when we just flip that coin, so what if we didn't judge ourselves? What could we actually choose? What could we create? And also in business, what I did a lot a few years back was I made decisions and I made things really significant. So it was really important that I really made the really, really, really correct and right answer, right? Into perfection. And what happened? Well, I never took any decisions because I was frightened to make the wrong one. So, and here it's more the play of what if nothing is significant, and what if everything is just a choice. And also there is something that we call to live in 10-second increments. It's like, oh, now I play with this toy. Oh, it's not fun anymore. Now I play with this toy. So like we look at how small kids, they create all the time. They have this flow and this energy of constant activity. They choose something and they go over to something new. And what if we could kind of copy their wisdom and their cleverness and do something more along those lines in our business and living as well? Okay, hey, let's play with Excel. Okay, not fun anymore. I'll go and do this and play with some phone calls or whatever it is, and not making things so significant. So that has made things so much easier and more expansive for me to not take it so darn serious. And it adds some joy to my life and living when I apply that. I say, I'm really grateful.
So I know we do have some notes over here in the chat and questions. So what is elegance in business and what does that look like? From Tabitha. So elegance is minimum effort and maximum result, like maximum creation. That's sort of the definition, or that's an Access definition of elegance, where there's an ease to everything that you're doing, an ease to what you're creating. And that ease, like to me, there's a potency. Ease has an incredible potency because it is an energy that so many of us are not willing to choose because, you know, work effort, suffering, and struggle is incredibly valuable in this world, in this reality. Like we know that we're being a good person, we're being right, we're doing it right, we're taking one for the team, you know, we're like in the formula for success, you know, when we are working, when we're efforting, when we're suffering and we're struggling. And so it's been so interesting, my own journey of that, and just working with other people and going, wow, ease is actually, like, everybody says that they would like to have it. But it's actually a really courageous choice to actually choose to have a level of ease in your life that is quite beyond this reality. Like that is actually not what they talk about in MBA school, you know? So to me, elegance with business is like, it is a level of like, what if I could like really follow the energy and like trust that the universe has my back with what I'm asking for in my business, and like be choosing in the direction of like what opens up with my choices, like that's also like, to me, there's a lot of fun and joy to that of like, well, what would actually be fun for me to create today? And universe, hey, can you contribute to that? And being willing to follow that and have that as your reality. And I know it can sound like, sometimes I hear these conversations and it's like I hear people kind of going, that's great and all, you know, like that sounds lovely, you know, how very cute and metaphysical of you, you know. But I know for me, the more I choose that space of elegance, the more my business expands. And I've taken these tools and applied them in my business over years. And my business just keeps growing and growing and growing and growing. So that to me is like the great news. And not just me, like I've seen it work with so many people that it's quite actually pragmatic to choose elegance and ease with business. Like it's actually in a way the most pragmatic choice you can make with businesses, to actually have fun with it and have ease and ask questions and do business different. It works, so everything that doesn't allow you to have the elegance of business that is true for you, we destroy and uncreate all of that.
Yeah.
Right, I'm good.
I love it. Every nodding head like this. Yay. So just a practical example, or maybe a tip, I don't know, could be when we have this the sense of overwhelm that we have so many things to do, and we might write all these to-do lists, and sometimes you hear that you should really take the toughest things first and approach them first. So what if we do kind of the reverse thing? If we look at, I wonder what needs to be, and we can use questions and ask our business questions. So, hey business, what's required today? So what can I accomplish today? And go for what pops, what really comes up in your awareness, and choose from lightness. So what would be fun and easy for me to start with, and just do that, and just enjoy the energy of just get moving and go with it. It's like a little bit of surfing. Like, I go here and then I go here and I go here. It's like snow skiing. It's like woo, woo, woo. And keep up and speed it up. So sometimes that's a really good one as well. So if this type of people who kind of like these kind of tools, we are many times really, really quick, and we are really, really quickly bored as well. And when we feel bored, a really good tip could be speed up and add more to your plate. What else can I choose? What else can I create?
That's awesome. One thing I want to add to that too is and I talk about this a fair amount on my radio shows and stuff, but is when I ask my business what it requires of me today, it's not always going to be like a business answer, like, I mean, we're really looking for awareness more than answers, but it's not going to be like, you need to go, or like, you need to go do that Excel spreadsheet, and sometimes that is what it is, but sometimes it's go for a run, or go in the woods, or go get a massage, or like something that actually really expands my, like the ease that I have with my body or whatever. And then I can, like, I'll get inspired. Like I have a mountain right there, and I spend a lot of time up there when I'm home. And when I'm hiking or running or whatever, I get tons of ideas for what to create in my business and what I could play with. And so it's not a linear thing when you ask that question, business, what do you require of me today? Be willing for it to be anything. And I think the biggest thing with that too is just the willingness to trust what pops, like trust your awareness. Because you might have the awareness, like it might be like, oh, go be in the sun, or go get in some warm water or something like that. And we're so trained to be like, no, because that's not working, like I can't do that because then that's not working, So again, circling back to the elegance and the ease and the courageousness of being willing to choose that and go, okay, for whatever crazy reason, it's a soak in the hot tub right now. That's called, and then there will be other times where it's like, sit at your computer and just like bang a bunch of stuff out, and that's required too. But if the energy, this is actually another piece of the elegance for me, is that if the energy is available for something, like that's what a lot of times asking these questions brings your way. Like, what do you require of me today, business? And you're inviting awareness, you're inviting your business and the universe to show you energies and give you different awareness. And what's so cool about that and so elegant about that is that the energies that pop and the awareness that pops is actually going to be the things that are available. Like it's like whatever is alive in your world and in the quantum entanglements right now, that's going to be the things that are available to be played with and created with. So it might be like there's a ton of ideas like waiting to like pop into your world, so go into the woods. Or there's this availability of like getting all this stuff done on your computer in a really short period of time. That's what's going to pop. So it's like when the more we, like Katarina was saying, like surfing, are just like following that, we're just going, oh, here's the opening. Oh, okay, now here's the opening. Now, oh, and the opening's over here now. It's not at all what I thought it would be, but I'm going to follow that because that's elegance.
It's beautiful. That's such a beautiful picture also to have the openness and the awareness where to go next. It's like being in a stream, in a river, and go with the water instead of turning around and struggle against it to what you have decided. So it's like, what if we can be a team and truly be a team with our business and be a team with our body, be a team with everything. So that's sometimes when we talk about oneness, for example, and we talk about the universe, what if we are the universe, we are part of and on the same team. And when we ask for it, we also get the contribution. And when we open up and receive it, that's when the magic can really exponentialize as well.
Yeah, what if the universe desires to contribute to you?
And we go, no, not today, not in that way. I didn't expect it to come so fast. Wait a second, I'm not ready yet.
It's funny, I just made it.
Take it back.
Right? Like, oh, I was supposed to work harder for that, I made a Facebook Live video about this last night, that that question of what if the universe desires to contribute to you, and it's like when we ask, if you are somebody who has played with access consciousness before and you ask questions, it's like, what is the point of view that you're asking from? Like, if you have the point of view of like, the universe doesn't like me, or the universe is going to make my life hard, or it can't possibly work that I would just ask the universe for something and have it show up, if that is the underlying point of view that you're asking questions from, then that's going to determine what shows up. It's like the question is, it's colored by the point of view that you have when you ask it. So if you have the point of view, oh my gosh, like, it's like, hey, you wake up in the morning and it's like, hey, universe, hey, business, like, what fun can we have today? What can we create today? With this total point of view that's actually how, like, that is how your reality works. And that's what, what's true for you. You're going to receive so much more contribution than if you're like, I'm supposed to ask this question and it's supposed to work, except for I think it probably works for everybody but me, because like we were joking about it on the video last night. Some people that were watching were saying like, yeah, the universe doesn't like me, or the universe wants to be mean to me, or like, so whatever. So all the points of view that you have about how this whole thing actually works and how it can't work for you, we destroy and uncreate all of that.
Yeah.
Right, wrong, good, bad, online, puck, watch, shorts, boys and beyonds.
And also with when we actually honor ourselves and we value what does work for us and what we truly desire to create and ways that really work elegantly for us. What I noticed when I actually, a few years back, when I started to actually consider myself and my, say, needs valuable, was that I was afraid that people would judge me more or would not like me or whatever, because I had this history to assimilate and be very aware of what everyone else needed and deliver that. But however, when I started to see, hey, this works for me, not from the point of view that, more from this inclusive space, like from the kingdom of we, what I noticed was that people around me, they kind of relaxed, and it worked for them too. And what if that is also true in business, that when you prioritize so that it works in a beautiful way for you, it will also work well for your clients, for the people you work with, and for everyone. And that was also something that it made things so much easier.
I love that. Thank you.
So we have some questions, don't we? Oh,
Yeah.
someone says, Leanne says, I've been doing this last few weeks. My to-do list has felt so much lighter as a result. Okay, that's cool. And me and my kid get bored often. Yeah, well, what else can you choose? What else can you play with? So what do I do when I have a means of funding and they cancel? What tools can we use to rid of the thoughts, feelings, and emotions I have attached to the idea of having that and then not having it? Well, maybe a question could be, what's right with this I'm not getting, and what is right with me that I'm not getting? So sometimes when we have decided that there is an expected result that we would really love to see, we call it that we are vested in the outcome. And when it doesn't turn out that way, we kind of get disappointed, and we, so what if we could just get rid of all that charge and let that go and ask what else is possible here? What is possible that I haven't even considered? And universe, show me the way here. So what is right with this that I'm not getting right now? So how does it get any better than this? And look for the other openings that Heather so beautifully illustrated earlier.
Yeah, and I think too with that, when we have a lot of different things in the works, like a lot of different projects going on, which actually for a lot of people who are drawn to this work, that's more sort of how you might actually function with business, is to have more going on than less. But when you have a lot on your, like say you have 20 projects, right? And 5 of them don't actually pan out, or 10 of them don't pan out. You've still got a lot of things going. And so how many projects would you actually have and to be playing with and creating in order to have the chaos of like the ease and the elegance with that, so that you're like, oh, that's not happening now, but now this thing is, or this thing just got bigger or greater, or so everything that doesn't allow you to outcreate yourself every day, will you destroy and uncreate all of that?
Yes.
There's been a conversation in the past few weeks, even in Access, about predictability and actually creating predictable futures, that I think this also ties in with. And it's changed like massive things in my world. Because if you look at predictability, so like creating a life of predictability, or business or money flows that are predictable, that is really sort of like the like pinnacle of like success in this reality, right? It's to have predictable income, a predictable business, a predictable life, right? But the thing is, and so everywhere that we've all created business and money flows around, like with the intention and the desire to be predictable, can we destroy and uncreate all of that?
Yes.
Right, or I'm given all the impact for shorts going on. And anywhere that you've made predictability, or anywhere that you've made unpredictability a bad thing, something to resist against, defend against, and stave off at all costs, we destroy and create all of that. Right, wrong, good, bad, all my impact shorts going. Because what flipped for me with this conversation is like really, really getting that predictability kills possibility. So you can either create a business based on possibility, or you can create a business based on predictability. And when you create from predictability, you have to like control and order and manage and contract your business. and try to like basically try to keep things from changing, which things are always changing. Like that's the nature of the universe. Change is always happening. And so what if you could actually use that to your advantage? And that's one of the great things about using the tools of access consciousness and joy of business, is that it is about like acknowledging what's true about how the universe works. It's always changing. There's chaos. Like there's no predictability. With these tools, you get to go, that's not actually a problem. That's a possibility. What would it take to use that to my advantage? And from what I've seen, even in the past week, I've been playing with this a lot, and really like challenging myself in a way to like let go of everywhere that I've created my business as predictable. And it's been so cool because there's been this explosion of possibility in my business, and the possibility and like all these different ideas and creations, like that stuff can't actually even come into your world if you're committed to a predictable business and predictable money flows. So it's just a choice, which makes a lot of people want to kill me or whoever says that, but it is just a choice. And you can choose it slowly, or you can choose it quickly, or you can choose it instantaneously. But everything that doesn't allow you to choose and have the joy of a totally unpredictable, totally wildly possible, chaotic, generative and creative business, where you destroy and create all of that.
Yeah.
Right, wrong, good, bad, only, puck, pad, shorts, events, and just start to play with that and see like, okay, so if I actually like add more projects, or actually choose, like not based on predictability, but on chaos and possibility, what does that create? What energy does that create in your business? And what does that do for the growth of your business and your money flows and all of that?
Yeah, that's beautiful. And I can give one example when I was more a bit earlier. So I run a brand naming agency where I help companies come up with new brand names for products and companies. And at one point I had a company asking me to provide a little bit wider services than I had in my offering, because they liked me and what I delivered, and they thought that I was capable. And I refused. I was like, no, I'm just doing this. This is my box. This is my offering. And they were like, are you sure? We would love you to do kind of this too. Could you do that for us? And I was like, and I declined. I didn't do that because it was far too out of control for me at the time. So when we talk about this, that's kind of where we see an opening for a new possibility for, I don't know, an expansion or another revenue stream in your business, right? So what I could have chosen, which I didn't, was to say, yeah, sure, let's create that. So how could that look? And ask all these questions and go and create that together with this client in this case. And be curious and explore and have the trust. They trust in me. Why wouldn't I trust in myself? And hey, let's do this together. We're in this together. So that's more allowing the chaos and the creative energies to be there and have fun with it and play with it, instead of being like paralyzed because this is totally out of control. I need to control this and order this because this is not so outside of my comfort zone. And if that would have been today, I would probably handle it. I know I would, in a completely different way, and more allowing it to expand. And this is the beauty of this journey. We can all choose we can take, as you say, like little by little, or just blow to explode everything at the same time. Yeah, just one little example. So chaos is about out of box and allows for expansion. Yes, I would say, yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And there is actually an elegance with chaos that we have misidentified and misapplied. Like we've, in this reality, sort of tried to create elegance as this ordered, controlled, non-changing, predictable universe, right? But the amount of energy, you're basically fighting against the very nature of the universe. So the amount of energy that you have to expend to create something that's not actually even really possible in a way as your business, it's like, it's immense, right? And it's not very fun. And you might, I mean, there are people that create totally from that world and they create tons of money and all of that. Are they happy? Are their bodies happy? I'm not going to speak for everybody, but I know a lot of people who create a lot of money who do not have happy bodies, that their lives aren't they're not actually truly happy. So what if it isn't about happiness or money, but it's about chaos, creation, possibility, expansion, elegance, life living, that
receiving,
to have all of it. Yes, receiving, like really, like, oh,
that's
wait,
a huge one.
Yeah.
So what else can we receive? And when we also, when it comes to seeing, perceiving, and acting on possibilities that they're kind of whispering all around us all the time, right? So we can perceive them, and we can grab them, and we can actually create something with them. It's like, and they kind of like soap bubbles or whatever, and see what can be created. Or you can perceive them and see them and just blow them away like irritating flies. But if we are closed and we have our barriers up and we have all our defenses and our control box very small and tight around us, we can't even perceive all these possibilities. So that's one thing also, to be prepared to receive and open up to receive. And I think we all have different ways and different shortcuts to be in that space when we receive more. And sometimes when I ask people, in what state and what situations do you create more? Where do you find your own creative flow? And that's basically not when you sit there and I'm on a deadline, I need to deliver this now. That's not really that space. But it's more like you said, Heather, when you are out running or hiking or maybe in a hot tub or whatever, that's kind of a space when our bodies relax. We don't have anything in our minds. And that's when new ideas are born from that space. That's the space, the creation from relaxation is a wording that you used, Heather, a while back that I just adore. Mm-hmm. So what will it take for more of us to actually make that our priority in our business as well, to explore in what situations we can be more and act more from that space? Mm. And how could that look on a Tuesday afternoon in between meetings? How can we create
meetings, even when you're at in meetings, and like, what if you could be being and bringing this, like that relaxation of creation when you're, like I was talking to Maggie last night, who's on here, and she works in my business, and she was saying, I'm just creating so fast these days. And she was like, there are times where I think I have like probably 4 hours worth of computer work, and I sit down and it's done in 90 minutes. And that, like, I guarantee, and what's so interesting is when you look at, like, if you have a lot going on, or like wanting to create faster, or like just get more done, like you're like, I have so much on my plate, I need to tick things off my list or whatever. If you contract to try to order it, you're actually going to slow yourself down. If you relax and go to like the fun and the joy and the question of like, how much fun can I have with this? And what would it take to create this with like a totally unpredictable speed, just questions that are inviting different possibilities that you haven't considered before. Then what if, 2 hour, 4 hour, 8 hour, 10 hour marathon at your computer could be orgasmic? What if you could bring that energy to meetings and to like whatever you're doing in your business and with your business and the people that you're working with? Like, what if you could be also the invitation for the joy and the elegance and the ease of creation, no matter, even if you're doing an Excel spreadsheet, like,
yeah.
How much orgasmic fun can you have with Excel?
And we also talked about this, that when we get bored, that we can add more projects, and that possibly many of us here we kind of have more fun when we have a lot of different things going on. I had a conversation about procrastination and creating from in the last minute yesterday with a brilliant woman, and sometimes when sometimes we make ourselves wrong when we don't complete and we don't finish everything. Like, oh, first project A. Oh, and when I have finished project A, then I'm allowed to go to project B. And then, so that linearity, right? So what if we don't make ourselves wrong for creating on the project that is actually, well, screaming the loudest, or I mean, where the energy is for the moment, where you have the awareness that this is required right now. I play with this for a while, and then I go to this one. And right now I have one part of my business where I don't have a lot of energy right now. And that's, what if that is okay? And it's, I know that, and then it can be useful to have the question of, so is it time now? Light or heavy? What do you know? Oh, no, it's not time now. I don't have to make myself wrong. I'm actually just aware that it's not time right now for this project. So, okay, so show me where am I required today? What would be fun and easy, and what would create more for me today and my business?
I actually just had that was going on in my business, and with this one project that we've been playing with, that was like, I would be like, oh, I need to write the email and I need to make some videos. And it was just like, nope, nothing to say, nothing to like say, nothing to write, nothing. And it was so cool because it was actually like, it kind of like went on for a longer period of time than it's ever been before in my world. And it was just, the creation itself was like, just stay with me, like just be present with me. And it was the first time I had really stayed out of judgment with it. And like actually not at all going into like, oh, this is wrong, or something needs to change here, or I need to do something. It was like, I couldn't actually do anything. And it was just like, no, I'm here. We're gonna, like, this is happening. We're gonna create this, and just stay with me. And so I did, and I did. And then finally, like, these few things needed to be like sort of moved around, a few like energies changed. And then it was like, boom, boom. And this creation like showed me what it actually wanted to be right now, and that it might be more in the future. And it was just this cool, like I just sat down and I went, grrr, and just like typed it all out. And it was like, here it is. Okay, yes, now we can do this, And it was such a cool reminder that, if we really, it's like whatever is going on in your business, what if none of it's wrong ever? What if you're not wrong and your business isn't wrong? And just asking questions and staying present with what is, and choosing and having, I did have other projects going on. So I was playing with other stuff too. It wasn't like I was like, this thing has to pop so that I can create, I didn't let it stop my creation, but it was just like, it was in like a different phase in a way of creation. And like, what if none of it is wrong? And, like Katarina said, with the judgment piece, like joy of business to me is so much about getting out of judgment, not just of business, but of ourselves in regards to business and creation. And when you do, you can create anything. And so just like, if you take one thing from this conversation, what if there isn't anything wrong with you or your business? And you can just be and ask questions and make choices and follow the energy and use all these tools that we're talking about. You can create a multi-million, billion, trillion dollar business with these tools. And people are doing it. And so, having a lot of fun too. So, and the fastest way to get out of judgment is to recognize that you're in judgment, and ask a question. You know, you can pock and pod it. Everything that is pock and pod, ask a question. You know, what else is possible here? What else that I've never considered? What can I create today? Business, what can I contribute to you today? So.
There was a question from Samantha about having ease in her bar's business with a toddler. I saw it here.
Oh,
yeah. So.
And you guys can, like, we're just.
You can unmute yourself.
You can talk too.
Sure, you're welcome. So I would say it's brilliant. It's beautiful to have children in classes, and they're such a contribution. I think the youngest one I've had in a bars class was 5 weeks old, and I had to change clothes twice because I was peed and pooed at, and I loved it. Anyway, so what if we can be in total allowance of the children in class and not try to avoid other people's judgments, be aware of what's going on and ask questions and allow yourselves to receive from the child, to receive the contribution and the energy that the children are in the class as well. Would you like to add something, Heather? We both have kids that have been in class many times.
Yeah, other kids, my kids. Yeah, kids are just very aware, you know, and they might actually be facilitating something that's going on in the room, or aware of something that's going on in the room. And so what can you receive from them, and just lower your barriers and actually, and you know, there are times where it's like, Gary Douglas, the founder of Access, is so brilliant with this. Because if there's kids in the room and they start to get louder and louder, he'll be like, kids, you know, and it's just like, boom, you know, and it stops the energy. And sometimes that's required, you know. So, and I've discovered that with my own kids. Like I for years, I would ask Gary and Dane questions about, because my kids get really, really crazy. And I would be like, well, what can I do that isn't yelling? And they would be like, yell. And when I was finally actually willing to be like scary psycho bitch mom from hell, then I like discovered these energies that would actually completely stop whatever chaos was going on, or havoc really. And now I'm like, if it's getting too insane with my kids and it's time for a change in the energy, I will just deliver that energy for about 5 seconds, and then it changes it, and then we can be like laughing and giggling and cuddling or whatever. Like, so it's also like, and so as a facilitator, or what, like, you know, life, business, like that applies everywhere. Like just the willingness to be any energy, to be all energies, and to pull up whatever you require in that moment, deliver that energy, be that energy, and then move on, you know?
And what if we can actually ask our kids to contribute to our business, to our money flows, to creation in general? So include them even more in the creation of your business and of your adventure of living.
I have a question.
Yeah, sure.
Since I've been doing the How to Become Money workbook a lot more and getting in more of these tools, it's like when I go to create something, or make, like, I'm doing things that make money, I don't feel like I'm really doing business anymore because it's too much fun.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Terrible.
I don't know how we can fix that, Daniel.
Well, but there's also a piece of that where it's like, it's not real if doesn't feel like hard work. Like,
everything that is times a gazillion, right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pot, online, shorts, boys, and beyonds, and return to sender, consciousness attached, right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pot, online, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And sometimes we need to be aware of what people can hear. Sometimes you might even have to say to someone, oh, it's really tough right now. I have a lot going on. And it's a bit stressful. Yeah. And then you are like, not, you know, like.
Yeah. So what feelings are you using to create the business that you're choosing?
That's a good one.
And everything that is times a gazillion, we destroy it and create it.
Yes.
I've got online pocket shirts with me. But yeah, like, and when you start to, that's not uncommon, really. Like when people start to have a lot more fun and ease, and it's like, wait, there's no, like, there isn't feeling, or there isn't intensity, or there isn't like polarity or struggle or solidity. You know, when you start using these tools, the solidity of your life and your business starts to really go away, and it becomes so much less real and less conceivable, because this reality is so solid. Now, welcome to creating business beyond this reality, right? That doesn't have solidity, that is space, that is possibility. And like Katarina said, it's like some people will need to have a semblance of that so they can find you. It doesn't mean you have to be it, or your business has to be it. You can, you know, be like, oh, I'm so stressed. And people be like, okay, good. I'm so glad that you're, you know, still as miserable as I am, you know. And so sometimes it's the willingness to, you know, give people what they need to hear. And sometimes it's the willingness to be really judged and hated for having such a fucking easy life. And, you know, all of it, everything in between, everything, like lots of whatever is going to come your way. And the more that you create, the more success you have, the more judgment you will receive. So that's okay. Judgment makes you money. So just say cha-ching. Thank that person for contributing to your money flows.
All right, thank you.
And maybe it could be great to add something about the other people's judgments, and we are so aware what we and also projections and expectations of us in different situations. So when we are aware of that, and we can use the tool of interesting point of view, they have that point of view, interesting point of view, I have this point of view. Just say that silently in our head when someone is kind of talking to us and telling us to, oh, that presentation should have been done in another way, or whatever it is. Interesting point of view, they have that point of view, and just realize that, what if that's not significant either? So it's just a point of view they take, and I might have another one. And you can say to them, yeah, sure, thank you so much for your caring. I will change that. And then you don't, and you just go for it. So that's one thing we can use, interesting point of view. That's a great, just see everything as interesting points of view. And what else can I choose? What is actually true for me here? That is so liberating in so many situations. And also just lowering all defenses, all masks, all barriers, and just receive the judgments without a point of view. Just let them not stick to us, but just go through us. Yeah. And just relax through it in some way. And then, okay, what can I choose now?
Yeah. We have a cool comment here from Mina, I'm not sure how to pronounce it. I so need to stop taking things and myself so seriously, though it's funny that that's exactly what I've been heading towards testing the last few weeks. It's just so liberating and energy creating. And I love that. That's such a testament to, you know, this whole idea that what's true for you makes you feel lighter. And what's a lie for you is actually heavy. Like there's a density, there's a wah, wah, you know, kind of in your world. And so it's like whatever, like if you're willing to, that's part of following the energy, is actually going, what does light me up? What is expansive? Like, so anything from this conversation today where you're like, yes, or, you know, I'm not sure about that. Like really look at like, what is your reality? What is true for you? What does light you up and create a sense of expansion in your world and a sense of possibility? What does feel like, that's not quite right, you know? And following that it's sort of like your magic compass, your like ninja compass, you know, for creation, if you're willing to actually follow the energy. And one actually quick side note on that is a lot of this, that's actually a tool that's been pretty misidentified and misapplied by a lot of people, to mean that if something is light, like something that you want to do is light and something that you don't want to do is heavy. It's not actually usually quite that, like, it's light and heavy isn't really about preference. And sometimes people kind of replace preference with these energetic tools. It's really more about, does this actually expand my life? You know, am I living my business? And it might simultaneously make you feel quite uncomfortable. That's not heavy, it's uncomfortable. Very, very different. And if you're going to create beyond what you have right now, if you're going to have more in your business, if you're going to have more projects, if you're going to have more income, you're most likely going to have to get uncomfortable. Not because business is hard and you have to struggle, but it's like constantly stretching outside of your comfort zone and outside of everything that you've already created. It is that, like how we were talking earlier about how ease can be this incredibly courageous choice. There's no reference points in this reality for what we're talking about here. And there's no reference points for you, for what's true for you. And so that, like, these tools and that, like the really looking at light and heavy without a point of view is, it's a huge way to really quickly know what's actually true, what's going to work, what's going to create more. And every time I follow the energy, even if it's really, really, really fucking uncomfortable, if it's truly light, my whole world really, really expands. And then you don't have to figure anything out or know how to do anything, which can be a big relief.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. And one other thing that I can see that I personally have gained a lot from using these tools is that there's so much more speed in not only in creation, but in decision making. So there are in a day, just count how many decisions we make every day, and just using the tool of light and heavy. And sometimes we can add also, how would my life and business look like in 5 years, in 10 years time, if I choose this? And how would it look like in 5, 10 years, 25 years, if I don't choose this? And check in with that and go for what I know. Then decision making is so easy and swift. So sometimes if you have colleagues and you work in teams, sometimes you will find yourself being so much quicker and faster than the others. So you might need to wait for them a little bit. But that's really something that's been super valuable for me. This is so fun. I love this. And I can't wait till we are going to facilitate together live, Heather, in a few weeks' time in the US.
Yes, and all over the world. All over the world.
All over the world.
So we are doing a class. We're doing an Access Business 101 class, which is the Joy of Business, the first one-day class. There are no prerequisites for it. And it's I love that class is like this like rocket ship into creation, really gets you out of judgment and just like really starting to create. It's really cool to see what shows up in people's worlds from those classes. So that's June 5th in the US. We're going to be in the gorgeous and amazing wine country of California in Napa, the town of Napa in the Napa Valley. So we won't have any delicious wine or food or weather. It's terrible. So, and then the 6th and the 7th, we're doing an Access Business 102 class, which is the second like part of that 3-day class. We dive a lot more into money. We dive into like working with other people in your business, like, and just more time for your specific questions around your businesses. So that's the 6th and the 7th. And
can I add something?
Yeah.
Hi. Yeah, I'm so excited for these classes, and in Napa. And it is so beautiful in July in that part of the world. And we also have Katerina coming to do an evening taster on the 3rd of June, just before the classes start in Marin County, just north of San Francisco, about 15 minutes on the north side of the Golden Gate Bridge. So if you're in the Bay Area and you want to get a teaser about what these 3 days are going to be like, please join us at that.
Yeah.
Come and play with us that evening if you're
My
in the
business is really
area.
excited to play with you guys for 4 days.
Yeah.
And if you
They're
can't,
super excited.
join us in Napa, we are live streaming, actually. These classes will be live streamed. So
Yeah.
it's going to be on Zoom like this, so we can all get together again in a month. And but so you will be able to actually ask questions in real time and, you know, sort of be kind of like sitting in the class with us via Zoom. And so, yeah, both will be live streamed. It is June 5th for the 101 class, the 1-day class, and then 6th and 7th for the 102 class. The only prerequisite for the 102 class is the 101 class. No prereqs for 101. And, you know, recordings will go out. We have manuals, all of that stuff. So it's a really amazing, this 3-day class is really just so world-changing for people. And you can, if you'd like to play with us, the Access Consciousness website, if you just search either under either one of our profiles, you'll find the classes. So Heather Nichols, Katarina Nilsson, and you can sign up there. And we're very soon going to have a landing page where you can pay and all of that stuff too. So, yeah.
Yeah, and don't ask the question, how would my business be in 5 years' time if I choose these classes?
Don't use the tools we talked about today.
Don't try that. That probably doesn't work for you guys. I'm so grateful for so many of you showing up for this taste of the elegance of business and living. And I'm so looking forward to play more. This
Me
is,
too.
I love it.
Does anybody have any quick questions?
Yeah.
Before we pop off, like anything about the classes or anything else you want to know before we complete here?
Don't be shy. Come on live with us. Talk to us. We are not.
Wait, did you say if someone judges you, you make money?
No, isn't that just crazy?
When we receive judgment without having a point of view about it, just let it flow through us, not reacting or resisting to it, and we make money.
It increases your bank balance, and for every judgment that you defend against or that you resist or align with even, it actually is a diminishment of your money flows, because it's really just about receiving. And if you are willing to receive all judgment, you have total receiving. And what does that do to your money flows? It increases your money flows. More money can come into your world if you're willing to receive more. So it's a great practice. And I love watching actually Gary Douglas, the founder of Access, when he actually loves being judged. Like it's like fun for him. Like, and he'll just sit there and like giggle.
He's a true provocateur.
He is. It's
Yeah.
so fun to watch.
Wait, can you share a story of a time when he got judged that like you can specifically remember him like giggling like that? Or
Well, I have one example. When he facilitated the advanced body class in Stockholm here in March, he had this gigantic ring with loads of diamonds, and it was this I think it was it a dragon, and there was even a little like kind of a little bottle or a little something where you could put something in it. And someone asked, "Hey Gary, what do you have in there?" And he looked at them and he goes, "That's where I carry my poison." So you know,
Yeah.
that's funny. And when he talks a lot about sex, for example, it brings up a lot in people's worlds, and that's also what he aims to, because when we in class, when we bring up a lot of these energies, we can also clear them. So that's actually he does that for us to be able to clear even more stuff. Heather, we have a question about the pricing of the classes, and the 101 class is $500, right?
Yes, it is. And we do global pricing. So if you live in Canada, it's 500 Canadian. If you live in Australia, it's 500 Australian. And then there are countries in the world that have access consciousness global pricing, where you might be an 80% country or a 65% country. There's a huge list. And so these classes follow global pricing. So you would pay, if you live in India, you would pay 65% of the class fee. If you live in Malta, you would pay 80%.
Exactly. And the 102 class, the 2-day class, it's $1,200. Yeah.
There's also repeat pricing. So if you've taken either one of those classes in the past 12 months, is it 70%, Katarina? I can't remember. I never remember.
Yes, you pay 70% of the full price as a repeat. You get a 30% discount. And the taster class is $20 with me in San Francisco.
Are you going to be streaming that? Glenna was asking about that.
Oh, yeah, I would be happy to do that. I guess we have a good internet connection there. So sure, no problem. Let's live stream that evening as well. Yeah, sure. The more the merrier.
Awesome.
Any last questions?
Thank you all so much for being here.
Thank you so much.
Totally delightful to spend some time with you guys today, and send out the recording and all of that, any other follow-up information. And we always love to hear what shows up in your world, you know, what you create from here. It's just so fun to see people get into creation when they get their hands on these tools and get out of judgment. So tell us what's shaking in your world.
All right, thanks guys. I totally will tell you if anything cool shows up, like $100 million or maybe a new bunny.
A new bunny. Awesome. Thank you everybody so much. Have a great one.
Thank you so much. Bye now.
Bye.